Hey everyone, it's Weston from EV Help Hub. If you have a VW ID4, here's some tips you should know. This is part 3 of my ID4 tips and tricks video series. If you want to see them all, head on over to evhelphub.com/ID4tips. Let's get started. Keeping the vehicle on when the driver leaves their seat. The ID4 has a sensor located in the driver's seat that allows the vehicle to turn on automatically when you sit down. It also, however, turns off automatically when you get up. There's a quick workaround solution though. Prior to getting up, reach the seatbelt behind you and connect it into the buckle. Now the vehicle will stay on even after you leave. Media playback shortcuts. The next few tips involve controlling the infotainment system's audio playback. These should work with most Apple CarPlay and Android Auto media apps like Spotify and Apple Music. The ID4 will automatically pause playback if you lower the volume all the way down. You can also push the power button at the base of the screen to pause playback as well. If you listen to podcasts and want to skip the ads, an easy way to do so is by pressing the down arrow button on the steering wheel controls. This will skip the media ahead in 15-second increments. If you go too far or want to listen to something for a second time, you can push the up arrow button to rewind in 15-second increments as well. Another way to unlock the charge port. Once you plug charging equipment into the ID4, the charge port locks until you release it through one of a few ways, some less convenient than others. You can unlock the charge port using the infotainment screen, but sometimes it's a little slow to wake up in the morning and can be unresponsive. If you have the key fob, you can double-click the unlock button, but if you let the fob in the car or it's lost in a bag, there's an even easier way. Just open the front passenger door and push the unlock button, which will release the locking mechanism of the charge port. I now do this every morning. Customizing the infotainment screen layout. You may not have realized it, but the ID4's infotainment screen is customizable, and there's a specific widget I highly recommend. You can change and delete widgets by pressing and holding on them, but you can also choose from a variety of layouts and add up to 4 tabs of widget screens in total. To add a new screen of widgets, press and hold on an empty area of the screen. Then you'll tap the pencil button. From here, you can select the plus icon, which will show the available layout options. Choose your favorite and start adding widgets. Keep in mind that each layout has preset large and small spaces, which can only display certain elements, so you'll want to play around with them to find those that are most useful for you. You can follow a similar process to delete entire tabs if you'd like. Press and hold your finger on the screen, select the pencil icon, and then select the X at the top right of the layout. This will delete the entire tab at once. My favorite widget is the one for the climate system, because it allows you to control the heated seats without going to the main climate menu. Of course, you can tap on the temperature bar to do the same thing, but because it can be unresponsive, causing you to tap too many times, the widget works better. Voice control system tips. The ID4's voice control system has quite a few operations that it can handle, but it's hard to know exactly what it can do and how to ask the system to do it. Not only that, there's a way to improve the system's reliability. To aid you, VW has included a menu showing examples of both voice commands and various infotainment system features. You can access it by selecting the menu item labeled Help. The example voice command list provided will give you a better understanding of what the system can and can't do. But here are some ways to improve your experience. When saying Hello ID, you do not need to wait for the sound. Instead, you can say the full command all at once. For example, Hello ID, turn on the driver's heated seat. Alright. But I've had much better luck with the system's reliability by disabling the activation word, which you can do by going to Settings, Voice Operations, Activation Word, and toggling this option off. You'll now activate voice controls by pressing on the steering wheel button. Once you press the button, you can say the command directly. For example, turn the fan on high. Sure. The voice controls don't have to be a specific instruction. There are some more playful controls as well, like, my butt is cold.
All right, warming the left front seat now.
I've compiled a list of 25 reliable voice commands, which you can review at evhelphub.com/ID4 voice commands. If you're finding the video helpful at all, please consider clicking the like button to help me out. Driving with a dead key fob. If you are out and about and your key fob dies, you'll want to know how to drive the vehicle. First, you must unlock the door. To do that, you'll need the backup key. You can extract it from the fob by pushing in on the rectangular button and pulling out on the protruding silver piece at the same time. Next, you'll slide the physical key into a slot located underneath the driver's door handle cover. Pull the key towards you to pop the cover off. Insert the key and turn it to the left to unlock the door. Once you're in the cabin, place the fob on this key icon located in the center console. Put your foot on the brake and you'll be able to drive the ID4 like normal. Disabling keyless entry. There are times when you might want to temporarily disable or turn off the keyless entry system altogether. Some ID4 owners have complained that the system drains their key fob battery way too quickly, and VW requires that the vehicle stay locked during over-the-air software updates, and this system could interrupt that process accidentally. To temporarily disable the keyless entry system, lock the vehicle with the button on the key fob. Touch the outside door sensor once within 5 seconds, but do not try testing the lock by opening the door. After a couple of seconds, the door should remain locked until you use the key fob to unlock it. Once you unlock the door with the key fob, keyless entry will be reactivated. If you want to turn keyless entry off altogether, you can go to the vehicle menu, select exterior, and swipe over until you see the menu item central locking. Under this submenu, you'll be able to see the options to turn off keyless entry and unlock upon approach. Keep in mind that you must have the key on you and the vehicle must be turned on to access these menus. Closing the trunk while you're in the car. Like with other features of the car, there are a few different ways in which you can operate the trunk. Of course, you can push and hold the trunk button on the key fob to both open and close it. You can also pull the button found on the driver's door. But what if you want to close the trunk while you're in the car and the key fob isn't nearby? Well, you can pull the button on the driver's door to close the trunk as well. But be aware that you must keep pulling on the button until the trunk is completely closed or it will stop. Lowering the windows externally. If you parked outside in the heat of the day and you forgot to precondition your ID4 or the app isn't connecting, you can still release some of the heat by using your key fob to roll down the windows. Just press and hold on the unlock button and they will start to go down. You can release the button anytime to stop. Keep in mind there isn't a way to roll the windows back up using the key fob, at least here in the United States. A better way to control the sunshade. For those of you with ID4s who have the sunshade, you're probably aware of how great of a feature it is. But until about 2 months ago, I always found the controls difficult to use if I wanted to keep it partially open, because it's very hard to stop it in the spot that you want. But if you want even more precise control, there's a vehicle menu item for the sunshade where you can use a slider to get it to the exact position you want. You can locate it on the interior tab. Turning off adaptive cruise control. Some car owners don't like adaptive cruise control, and some of the competition don't allow you to turn this feature off, but luckily the ID4 does. And here's how you do it. Turn on the main driver's assistance switch by using the button located on the left side of the steering wheel touch controls, and then push the mode button. You should then see your current setting on your driver's display. If adaptive cruise control is activated, you'll swipe your finger right on the mode button to select cruise control and then press the mode button again to save that setting. And you can do this while you're driving or parked. Dimming the reading lights. If you want the cabin lights on, but the default setting is too bright, then you can do one of the following. Place and hold your finger on the light. You'll see it turn on, and then you should hear another click sound that indicates it has been dimmed. Then you'll remove your finger, or it'll turn off. Or you can press the light once to activate it, and then press and hold to dim. And don't hold for too long, or the light will deactivate. Be sure to watch my latest ID4 long-term ownership review, my 2 other tips videos, and visit my website evhelphub.com for more ID4 and electric car ownership content. Thank you so much for watching.